Tonight's case is not about crime. It is about something much more common. Bad thinking. People repeat advice they never tested. They defend opinions they never questioned. They call something common sense just because it feels comfortable. And then they are shocked when life does not follow the theory. So here is how this works. You bring a belief. I inspect the assumption. You bring a comment. I look for the hidden mistake. You bring, everyone knows that. I ask, everyone who? If the idea is strong, we sharpen it. If the idea is weak, we take it apart, politely. No insults, no shouting, no personal attacks. Just logic, context, human behavior, and the little mental traps people fall into every day. Tonight's first case. People love saying, if it feels right, it must be right. Charming idea. Terrible evidence. Feelings are useful clues, but they are not always facts. You can feel ignored when nobody ignored you. You can feel confident while being wrong. You can feel afraid of something that is actually good for you. You can feel attracted to chaos and call it chemistry. The mistake is not having feelings. The mistake is letting feelings testify as the only witness. Case opened. Let's dive into a new case. People often say, good things come to those who wait. Sounds comforting, doesn't it? Like a warm blanket on a chilly night. But let's peel back that layer. The hidden assumption here is that patience alone guarantees success. It implies that simply biding your time will yield results, as if the universe has a waiting list for rewards. Now, here's where it gets tricky. This belief can lead to inaction. People might sit back, waiting for opportunities to knock, while others are out there creating their own doors. It's a classic case of confusing passivity with destiny. In reality, good things often come to those who take action, adapt, and seize opportunities. Waiting can be a strategy, but it's not the only one, and certainly not the most effective. So, instead of waiting for good things, ask yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my goals? Remember, the universe rewards those who show up, not just those who sit quietly in the corner. Case closed! New case on the table. People often say, you should always follow your passion. At first glance, this sounds like solid advice, doesn't it? It's like a motivational poster come to life. But let's dig deeper. The hidden assumption here is that passion alone will lead to success and fulfillment. It suggests that if you love something, the path to a career or happiness will be straightforward and easy. Now, here's where the flaw lies. Many people have passions that don't translate into viable careers or sustainable income. Just because you adore painting doesn't mean you'll sell enough canvases to pay the bills. This belief can lead to disillusionment when passion doesn't pay off. What's actually happening is that while passion is important, it needs to be paired with practical skills, market demand, and sometimes a bit of luck. Following your passion without a plan can turn into a frustrating journey rather than a fulfilling one. A better way to think about it? Consider this. Pursue your passion, but be strategic about it. Find ways to blend what you love with what the world needs. Remember, passion is the fuel, but strategy is the map. Case closed. Question from Smart Blog AI. What do you think about fish behavior? Ah, fish behavior. Fascinating territory indeed. While it may seem like a departure from the human errors we typically dissect, there's a curious parallel to explore. People often anthropomorphize fish, attributing human-like emotions or reasoning to their actions. For example, the belief that fish have a short memory span is quite popular. It sounds convincing, doesn't it? The idea that a fish can forget its surroundings in mere seconds is comforting, as it implies that they live a carefree existence. However, the hidden assumption here is that all fish behavior is driven by instinct alone, devoid of memory or learning. In reality, many fish exhibit complex behaviors and social structures, often learning from their environment and experiences. Some species can even recognize their owners or remember feeding times. What's actually happening is that fish, like many creatures, are capable of learning and adapting. They may not have the same cognitive processes as humans, but they certainly aren't mindless creatures swimming aimlessly. So a better way to think about fish behavior is to appreciate their unique adaptations and learning capabilities. Instead of viewing them through a simplistic lens, consider the intricate world they inhabit. Remember, even in the depths of the ocean, there's more than meets the eye. Case closed. Let's dive into a fresh case. People often say, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks." This phrase rolls off the tongue easily, doesn't it? It suggests that once someone has formed habits or learned a certain way of doing things, it's nearly impossible to change. But let's examine the hidden assumption lurking beneath this claim. The belief implies that age or experience is a barrier to learning, as if the brain becomes a rigid structure incapable of adaptation. This assumption overlooks the incredible capacity for growth and change that exists at any age. What's often missed is that, while it may be more challenging for older individuals to adopt new behaviors, it's certainly not impossible. In fact, many people continue to learn and adapt throughout their lives, whether it's picking up a new skill, embracing technology, or even changing deeply held beliefs. A better way to think about this is to recognize that learning is a lifelong journey. Instead of writing off someone's ability to change because of their age, consider the context, motivation, and support they have. Remember, the ability to learn is not confined to youth. It's a testament to human resilience and adaptability. Case closed. New case on the table. People often say, "I'll start my diet on Monday." This phrase is so common it's practically a cultural meme. It sounds like a simple plan, doesn't it? But let's peel back the layers of this seemingly innocent declaration. The hidden assumption here is that there's a magical reset button at the start of the week, as if Monday holds some mystical power to transform intentions into actions. This belief can create a false sense of security, leading people to indulge in unhealthy habits until that fateful day arrives. What's often overlooked is that this mindset can promote procrastination. Instead of making small, sustainable changes today, individuals may binge or neglect their health, thinking they'll get serious later. This can lead to a cycle of guilt and disappointment when Monday rolls around and the same old habits resurface. A better way to think about it? Instead of waiting for a specific day, consider adopting a mindset of incremental change. Small, consistent steps can lead to lasting results. Why not start with one healthy choice right now? Remember, The best time to start is often the moment you decide to make a change, not when the calendar dictates. Case closed. Let's dive into a fresh case. People often say, you should always put others first. At first blush, this sounds noble, doesn't it? It evokes images of selflessness and generosity. But let's take a closer look at this belief. The hidden assumption here is that prioritizing others is inherently virtuous, and that self-sacrifice is the ultimate goal. This notion can lead individuals to neglect their own needs, health, and happiness in the name of caring for others. What's often overlooked is that this mindset can create a cycle of resentment and burnout. When you constantly put others first, you may end up feeling unappreciated and drained, which can harm your relationships rather than enhance them. It's a classic case of the martyr syndrome, where the desire to help others ultimately leads to self-neglect. A better way to think about it? Consider the importance of balance. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. In fact, it's essential. By ensuring your own well-being, you're better equipped to support and uplift those around you. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Fill yours first, and then share the overflow. Case closed. Question from SmartBlog AI. Tell my funny short story, please. Ah, a delightful request. Here's a humorous little tale to brighten your day. Once upon a time, in a small town, there was a man named Bob who prided himself on being a master gardener. He had a beautiful garden filled with flowers, vegetables, and even a few exotic plants. His neighbors often marveled at his green thumb and sought his advice. One day, Bob decided to host a gardening workshop to share his wisdom. He invited everyone in the neighborhood, promising to teach them the secrets of his success. The day arrived, and the turnout was fantastic. Neighbors gathered, eager to learn. As Bob began his presentation, he confidently declared, "The key to a thriving garden is simple. Just talk to your plants. They respond to your voice and love the attention." Inspired by his own advice, Bob then turned to his prized tomato plant and said, "You're going to be the biggest, juiciest tomato in the garden." Everyone watched, amused, as Bob continued to chat with his plants. He moved from flower to flower, praising their colors and scents. The neighbors giggled, but they were intrigued. As the workshop concluded, Bob felt proud of his unique approach. He encouraged everyone to talk to their plants at home. "Trust me, it works," he insisted. A week later, Bob's neighbor, Mary, approached him with a puzzled look. "Bob, I tried talking to my plants like you said, but they didn't grow at all. What gives?" Bob chuckled and replied, "Well, did you remember to water them?" Mary's eyes widened. "Water them? I thought you said talking was enough." And so, the moral of the story? Sometimes it takes more than sweet words to make things grow. A little action doesn't hurt either. Case closed. Let's explore a new case. People often say, "Money can't buy happiness." This phrase is tossed around like a well-worn coin, suggesting that true joy comes from experiences, relationships, or personal fulfillment rather than financial wealth. But let's dig a little deeper. The hidden assumption here is that money and happiness are mutually exclusive, as if having financial resources automatically leads to dissatisfaction. This belief can create a false dichotomy, leading people to dismiss